Come to find out, after I had logged out for the day yesterday, Lost Ark did some posting, some big news that came out. So what we'll do first is we'll take a quick look. I'm sure this has already been covered by other streamers like Asmongold and Zeals. They did cover that. I just want to touch up on it and a little bit myself. And so what we got here is the post that went up yesterday from on the Lost Ark main page as well as on the forums. And that's Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG message from the team, dated March 16th, 2022. So it starts off, hello, yeah, heroes of Arkesia. Okay. It's already been a month since Lost Ark last launched to Western audiences. Both teams at Amazon and Smilegate working tirelessly on stability, combating bots, preparing new content, and much more behind the scenes. Appreciate the support and patience we've seen from players around the world. And before diving into our team update, we'd like to thank the millions of heroes who have set foot in Arkesia and joined us for the start of this adventure. I don't know. Millions is a stretch. I don't know. At least on the West, I don't know. Amazon, the Steam charts usually had showed a high of around 1 million, 1.1, 1.2 million as a high. Um, um, but I don't know when they're saying millions if they're also counting Russia and Korea into that. So it could be, though our start is like around 3 years after Korea. Speaking of adventure, this week they're joined. Amazon is joined by Smilegate RPG in their Seattle office for a fun and productive uniting of forces while they take a look at content roadmap, improve operations and tools, and continue collaboration on all things related, to the Western release of Lost Ark. Now, I don't know if this is corporate speak or PR speak. Um, I don't know if that started off as fun and productive based upon what you read on the forums and the current state of the Western release of Lost Ark. Maybe it did not start off as fun. I don't know. Maybe it was fun. Maybe it was just happenstance or whatever. But I don't know if that's just PR speak or what. We thought it'd be the perfect time to also partner on authoring an update to address concerns they seen within the community, share their approach for releasing new content, and spoiling a few upcoming surprises. Let's try port right into it. A look behind the curtain, progression, Argos, contents, roadmap, and skins. So launching Lost Ark in the West has been a wonderful, humbling, and great learning experience for us at Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG. Journey has been filled with late nights, creative problem solving, hopping into Western servers to play together, and now looking ahead at things to come. As we continue to learn from our players' feedback and dive into data, our goal is to remain transparent, sometimes brutally so, with our players. Remain transparent. I guess that would depend on your definition of what transparent has been so far. I don't know if transparency has been really a strong point of what has been going on so far, at least within the forums. As you read through the forums, a lot of people have been calling for transparency, even more so. So again, remain transparent. Okay. If your goal is to be transparent, then fine. If your goal is to remain transparent, well, you might want to do a little bit of improvement in that because your forms speak otherwise. To set the stage, we'd like to reiterate some thoughts on progression we shared earlier this month in other regions. Players had to stay in Tier 1 and 2 for a considerable duration, as Tier 3 had not yet been released. Um, okay, so in other regions, players had to stay in Tier 1 and Tier 2 for considerable duration, as Tier 3 had not yet been released. And that would be probably true for, absolutely true for Korea. You know, here on the west, we have both Tier 1, 2, and 3 all at once here. While the other regions, they started off, they started off where they started off, and that was at the very beginning. The intention is that Tier 1 and Tier 2 will be used as a road for players to understand the many systems in Lost Ark, encouraging players to explore the vast world of Arkesia and learn how intricate mechanics within battles play out. The first two tiers is designed as a mid-game prologue for the wealth of end-game Tier 3 content that Smilegate RPG has developed since their original launch. So this, to me, speaks loads, okay? Now, the game launched in February. The official free-to-play launched on March 11th. If you bought the Founders Pack, you had 3 days early access, so February 8th. So February 11th, we'll use that as the official launch date. Was the launch of Lost Ark, and so everybody had a chance to get in there and play it out. So there were a few people who like to, and again, this is with any game. It is with any MMO, whether it be WoW, whether it be ESO, whether it be RuneScape or Guild Wars or any of those other type of MMOs. They're going to have a subset of players that will just pound their way through. Game content be damned. It's the first type of mentality. That's not to say that is bad and not to say that is good. It's just that that's how some players are. They want to get to the end, get to that end game, and they want to get to it now. You will have players that also want to follow along the storyline. What is the story behind Lost Ark? Why are we trying to find these arcs, these 7 arcs that are within the world? What are the driving forces behind alliances between the different kingdoms, if you will, within Lost Ark? I'm one of those players. I did not pound my way through this. I played it. I play as many of the quests within the zone before I move on. So it took me several weeks to get to level 50, and before I could get to Vern to start my quest to finish out Tier 1. I am still at Tier 1, but as of yesterday, I just finished Yorn. So it was over a month, about a month and a week, right? To get to the start of Tier 2 today. Going to be running some Chaos Dungeons to get my Tier 2 eye level 802 gear that I have been working towards. And I'm going to be kind of excited because I'm glad to finally get rid of that Tier 1 gear. Not so much that Tier 1 sucks. I mean, Tier 1 is Tier 1. It's just I don't like the appearance of the Tier 1 gear. There's no way to dye it. It's to me, it's ugly. I had a beautiful set of gear, 250 gear, that I had to give up to don my Tier 1 gear, and that it was gorgeous. The different shades of blue, from sky blue to dark blue, with that gunmetal silver in there, and it was a gorgeous outfit. I just wish I could have at least been able to do some sort of transmog on top of my tier 1 gear with that gear that I had to keep that same type of skin. I don't like the look of tier 1 gear. I just don't. And we'll see what how tier 2 looks like. Now, tier 1 gear had what they call pants, but as a sorceress, which is female only, really, they were panties, not pants. But tier 2 looks to be like it's going to be pants. And I'm hoping that it is pants because I want my character to look a certain way. So different play styles within the game. And I'm one of those people that will play the game through each zone to get to know the story as much as possible, why I'm going out for the arc, the different arcs, and to do all of the little side quests. That's how I am with any game. That's how I am with ESO. That's how I was with WoW. So I'll just keep doing those little side quests because to me, I find them interesting. Um, as Gold River, I guess this is the big guy in charge of he's Lost Ark's game director. It's, I don't know if that's his real name, Gold River. I keep having images of Goldfinger in my mind with the theme song playing in the background. Good old James Bond. But as Gold River recommended, you are progressing at your own speed and enjoying horizontal content such as exploration, collectibles, quests, and more alongside your vertical item level progression. Okay? So, yeah, you're at your own speed, but at the same time enjoying that content that is in that particular zone. A lot of players are currently progressing through tier 1 and tier 2. Some of you are already on tier 3, ready to vanquish end game challenges. Their goal has always been for players to progress at whatever pace they see fit, okay? Western version of Lost Ark launched with content at and above item level 1370, such as the Night Fox Yoho and Velganos Guardians, world bosses, ghost pirate ships, chaos dungeons, and abyssal dungeon hard modes in Punica, partially due to the player feedback they received in closed alpha and beta test. With that important context, let's talk about Argos. We've seen player concerns that releasing Argos before a significant portion of the player base had progressed through Tier 3 made Lost Ark feel pay to win. Feel pay to win. Not that it is pay to win, but that it felt pay to win. And there's a big difference between that. I am of the state of mind that I don't think Lost Ark is pay to win, but it can feel pay to win only because of that block that a lot of people seem to hit when they're at T3 going from 1340 to 1370, those honing chances being so low as they are. They never wanted players to feel rushed in their quest to hit 1370. So, yes, you want you to progress at your own speed. But at the same time, they're saying, really, we don't want you to rush through it. Rush through it, but don't rush through it. Okay? So, I don't. This, to me, comes off a little bit as double speak. Okay? It does. It comes off a little bit as a double speak. We considered having Argos available at launch, but viewed the Abyss raid as an important stepping stone, helping bridge the gap to endgame activities that have yet to be released in the Western version of Lost Ark. They're looking at you, Legion raids. Through that lens, we wanted to give Argos a spotlight and a special introduction into Arkesia. Made a mistake releasing the March game update too quickly after launch. And I have got to kind of agree with that. It was a month later that this big update was released. A lot of people, a lot of people just weren't ready yet. Lost Ark is huge. It is big. It is gargantuan. In between the zones, and then you have the islands, and you have all the other stuff going on. It is huge, and I think that releasing that update a month after release of the original Western version of the game might have been too soon. Some people will argue that point, and they do that in the forums. But the to me, a casual gamer, and by casual, I mean, you're working 8 hours a day plus the commute there and a commute back. People don't take that into account when they say, oh, you're working 8 hours, you sleep 8 hours, you have time to play. Well, you have other stuff. There is the commute if you commute, and some people do commute a distance, where their job is at. And between that, there's, yeah, you're sleeping 8 hours, but, there's your poop, shower, shave that has to happen, okay? And your before bed activities and all that other stuff. So, it's not really 8 hours when you get down to it, okay? And then if you have kids, there's that time, spending time with your kids. So, you may end up maybe with a couple of hours, maybe three, maybe four that you can spend on the game, and that would be for a typical, and again, a typical casual, and that's if they play every day. You know, Elden Ring released for me. April 5th is going to be the release of Lego Star Wars, the Luke Skywalker saga. I can guarantee you 100%, 100%, Lost Ark is going to be taking a back seat to that game. I've already got that thing pre-ordered. I'm ready. I am ready for Lego Star Wars Luke Skywalker saga. It's been a little bit of time since the last Lego game period released. I'm ready for a new one. I own all the Lego games that are out there. I got them all on the Xbox and all of them on the PC. So I'm ready. I'm ready, and that's where I will be focused. I will still dabble in some Lost Ark, but it will not be a primary. So yeah, I mean, life. The data they analyzed along Smilegate RPG, and I'm guessing this is Amazon saying that, from their previous launches projected that a larger portion of players would have reached the level required to challenge Argos. However, we overlooked certain variables, such as players spending more time on horizontal content and the price of honing materials increasing due to bots and real money transactions. Okay, so again, different play styles come into play here, right? A lot of people playing that horizontal content, the islands, the side quest, the rapport, the completion of your zone books, all that other stuff that goes within the game. And so that's filling of that time. And then of course honing, uh tier one, you know and I'm sorry, these end gamers, these tier three folks say T1, tier two is easy. I'm going to tell you, for me as a T1, not that easy. Gold is not that easy for me to get by, especially if you're trying to play the auction house where you cannot win as a tier one. You just can't, because of all the bots that are on there, and all these people that are buying, RMT, the real money transactions that go on third party sites, and and you can't afford to buy anything because as a low T1, you're not really getting that much gold. And and when you try to sell stuff, you look at the average price on there, you're not getting that much gold. And who's really buying T1 stuff on the auction house when everybody's trying to get to T3? They're not going to spend their money on T1 stuff. They're going to save it for that T3 content. So, and honing, I mean, it it gets down to 40%, 30% stars, breaths. You can get some, probably not as easy to get to, but I mean, from 14 to 15 is 40%. So, if 40% is okay, it's 40% chance of success. You roll the dice, right? I did a couple of my items from 15 to 16 because, I'm still in T1 and I can't take those untradeable, crystal shards with me to the next tier because it's going to be some other item that is used to hone. So I have all these fragments that are untradeable. I can't use for my alts, and I don't have alts. And they admit to this later on in here that a lot of people here in the Western side don't have the crazy amount of alts like they do maybe in the Russian or the Korean side of the house where they play those alts. We don't apparently on the West side do that to that extent. I was the same way. I'm the same way in ESO. I don't have an alt in ESO. I was the same way in WoW. I created an alt in WoW, but I never really played it because I always stuck to my main. And it's the same theory in Lost Ark. I stick to my main because I'm playing all that side content that I want to on my main. So, and when you're honing from 15 from 14 no from 15 to 16, it's 30%. So I'm using up those untradeable shards, those untradeable fragments as much as I can because you can't take it with you. It's like when you die, money, you can't take it with you. So once I get up to tier 2, I'm not using those green shards anymore. So trying to use that up and as much as I can. So yeah, these factors contributed to a scarcity of T3 honing materials. Together, our teams at Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG are continuing to gather data on play patterns in the Western version to better inform our future content roadmap. And as you read some of the forums, um, I get the opinion that people want to play, that some people think everybody should play this like they play it in Korea. And the gameplay styles, are completely different. There's that Western and Eastern mindset that it is different, and it's just culturally, and it is what that is. There's differences, and the play patterns, and that's going to affect play patterns. Okay. We appreciate the patience and support we've seen from the community while we continue to learn together and work on updating our roadmap, and apologize for the confusion our early excitement has generated. So after analyzing data and listening to player feedback and across all our community channels, we believe that an update that helps adventurers progress with the current content in-game is more important than releasing new end-game content. There we go. Okay. Awesome. Next release, not so much focusing on endgame, but current stuff. Okay. Increasing those honing chances, increasing other stuff. This is stuff. We'll expand on this in the honing section below. That said, players should feel encouraged to progress at whatever pace they're most comfortable with. Right here. Whatever pace they are most comfortable with. Not made to feel that they have to be getting to that 1370 no matter what. However, there's still a wealth of in-game content that needs to arrive in Arcesia. In-game content will be introduced, but players should continue progressing at their own pace. Our goal is to provide fun content for players, even if it's at a higher level, while never making players feel pressured that they need to pay to progress. Again, goes back to Lost Ark being free to play, not pay to win. Yes, you can pay. This game does offer the ability to buy in-game content through a convoluted mess of different type of crystals. But yes, it does give that opportunity, but you shouldn't be forced to do that. Flexibility has always been a driving force in the collaboration between our teams, as has ensuring that players are able to enjoy and play Lost Ark how they see fit. And I'm going to go, and I'm going to say for me, and this is my thought only on this. I will not speak for all the other players out there, like some people will. I don't believe in it. I speak for me. Other people can speak for themselves. I hate it when people post saying that I believe that I speak for everybody out there. You don't. You speak for yourself and yourself only. And I'm going to speak for myself only here. I think that I would have liked to have seen this cash shop done differently. I.e., yes, you have the opportunity to buy your crystalline aura, okay? That gives you that 30-day type of subscription benefit that you can get. Free triport use, reduced fees for using the liners, and other benefits within the game. It should be offered through there. Skins, the opportunity to buy skins to dress your character up how you wish to, how you would like to do. Mounts, pets, kind of like how like WoW does it. You can buy mounts, you can buy pets, and ESO to a certain extent mounts pets and skins. The other stuff like shards and all that crap should be just in-game only. Don't offer the opportunity to pay for cash for honing stuff. That should be just in-game, and let the cash flow come from stuff that is kind of nice to have. It would be neat to have, but not necessary to progress in the game. Okay, again, crystalline auras, your mounts, your pets, your skins, that stuff not necessary to progress, but is nice to have. And I think you would have maybe better reception to that for your cash shop. And then don't make it so convoluted where you've got royal crystals, blue crystals, all these stupid crystals that okay, you have to buy this using this type of crystal, but you can buy this using that type of crystal. But in order to buy that type of crystal, you got to buy this type of crystal in order to convert that type of crystal. It's ridiculous. It's so convoluted. It is confusing as hell. Stick to money. You know, this type of thing costs this many crystals, and then you're making the player sit there trying to convert. Okay, this is royal crystals, and I need to convert that to how much is that in blue crystals, and then now based upon that, how much is that in dollars? Just list the price. Crystalline aura, and they do that. Crystalline aura is $9.99 US. Do that with your skins. Don't tell me it's this many crystals. Tell me how much it is in dollars. Sell it for dollars. Do the same thing with mounts. Do the same thing with pets. Do away with that nonsense of crystals. Now, if you want to have people be able to buy that stuff with crystals, then fine. give an equivalent crystal amount in there, but have your set price be your local currency amount. It is $9.99 crystalline ore, or or it is this many crystals. 420 crystals, I think it is. That's it. Keep it simple. But no, it's convoluted. You got to buy this crystal in order to then convert that into that crystal. So then you can go ahead and get that item, and you don't get a real price for that. And then you always have to buy too many crystals because it's priced lower than the package. It's priced higher than the package that you would normally buy crystals at, i.e., you're selling a package of crystals as an example. This package of 1,200 crystals is this much, but yet the thing you're selling cost 1,300 crystals. And the next package after 1,200 crystals is 2,400. So you're spending more than is absolutely necessary than what it is you really want to buy. It is ridiculous. That is just asinine. It is to me. Sorry. Price it, base currency, equivalent crystal amount, and then make it those items that are not necessary to progress in the game, but are nice to have. And that's just, again, my thought. My thoughts only. From adjustments to monetization for the Western version, like making sure that aside for some account level features, everything can be earned in game, to listening to player feedback on content timing, we want to remain flexible. If you would sell a mount on the store that is a set dollar amount, show me what that dollar amount is, maybe along with the relevant crystal amount within game. I would spend. I would buy it. I did for a while because I could see what it cost. Um, sorry. Okay, end rent. Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG will continue to monitor, but feel that Legion Raids, the definitive Lost Ark raiding experience, should be released after players have acquired enough materials to be confident and ready for the complicated challenges awaiting them. Okay, honing. There you go. Materials for honing. Don't worry, more content is still coming soon. Horizontal content like new classes, islands, and the continent of South Vern will be released as planned. We will share a more comprehensive look into our content roadmap for April and May in the near future after our week of in-studio collaboration has concluded and the plans have been finalized. So maybe by the middle of April, we'll get the roadmap for April. We'll see. They've been advertising that roadmap for a while, so I'll be honest with you, even I am not holding my breath, and I'm one of those middle of the road type of people. I am not, I don't zerg, but then again I am not at a snail's pace either. Um, I'm middle of the road, and I think that's how my thoughts on the forums when I do post on the forums kind of blaze that I'm kind of middle of the road. Um, but when it comes to the roadmap, yeah, I'm a little bit okay, whatever. Now that they discussed their approach to progression and endgame content, let's move on to cosmetic skins and advanced classes. So this has been a hot topic and then some within the forums, especially the skins. Um, a lot of people are upset about skins, especially that there was only one skin released with the last patch. And and you see a lot of it dealing censorship. Okay, the skins of the Korean version are a little bit different than the westernized version, in that the westernized version does cover up a little bit more skin than the Korean version does, you know. um Take that however you feel. um I myself, I don't feel the need to play a half naked sorceress. As long as the outfit looks good, I'll play it. But there are other people out there that like the skins that are released on the Korean version, and okay, fine. As we read the forums, watch streams and videos, and hey, Amazon and or Smilegate, more than happy to have you on my stream. Come on by, say hi. Love to have a chat. Check in on Discord and hop in game. We've seen feedback that players would like skins and advanced classes to be released at an accelerated rate. So, I mean, if there are already skins on the Korean version, yeah, why not release those skins on the Western version? Why make us wait so long? Once a month? That seems slow. These two categories of content are entwined, which is one of the reasons that speeding up too much is tricky. Existing skins in the Korean version were released before some classes, requiring art and development time to rig models with skins for newer classes and the special weapons that accompany them. So apparently, yeah, I mean, when you design a skin, you're designing for what you have in game, right? So whether you're playing a sorceress or a berserker or a gunslinger or some other type of character, and your skin has to fit all of that type, whether it be male or you have male skins and you have female fins. They've got to be created for each type of those type of characters in gameplay. So when you're releasing new characters in the future, those skins need to be rejiggered, I guess, a little bit, or new skins created for that type of character. So I can understand that to a certain extent, but if you already have characters released on the Korean version that aren't yet on the Western version, then why can't those skins still be released? You got skins on the Korean version. Why can't you release them on the Western version? Why are they not available? Make them available in the shop. Okay. Again, I go back to that Mare shop or that your in-game cash shop. Make them in the shop, showing the currency, the price. Let people buy it. I think you're going to find a lot of people buying skins. They're that much involved in this game. They're going then to buy those skins to make that character how they want that character to appear. You want those skins dyeable, okay? Because characters, you have dyes in game. I have dyes in my storage that I can't use. So make them available, make them dyeable so that people can tailor their character to their style. And I think you're going to have a lot of people eating that stuff up. I mean, that's cash flow. Still, we are releasing skins at a faster rate than they were originally in Korea. Really? One skin? And we will continue listening to player feedback about the tempo of their release. Similarly, classes were released faster, and our goal is to catch up. As we release new content into the game, we want to add new classes that complement that content. More classes will be available soon, and we'll share specifics in the upcoming roadmap we're working on with Smilegate RPG in studio this week. Methinks Amazon has their hands too much in this. They're the publisher. I think they should just stick with publishing. Let Smilegate set it. It is their game. Granted, you're just publishing the game, hosting on your servers. But methinks that Amazon needs to back off and let Smilegate assume more. Again, my thoughts. Based upon what I read. Economy, bots and honing materials. Here we go. Another area of player concern we've seen is around honing. We know that for every triumphant yell as a player succeeds a low percentage hone. Yeah, it is. I mean, when you succeed that 30% hone, it's like, yeah. There are other players frustrated with their attempt failing, leaving them without enough materials to try again. As players focus on their first character, we've seen that there are a number of alternate roster characters to help feed main characters and the economy with high level honing materials. A shortage of T3 progression materials, coupled with problems introduced by bots, have made honing materials too expensive and a burden for players. To combat this, we will be supplying more progression materials for players to earn through fun in-game events, injecting more gold into the mid to end game, and continue a hard stance against bots. Okay. Here we go. Okay. As players focus on their first character, we've seen that there are a lower number of alternate roster characters that help feed main characters and the economy with high level honing materials, alts. That difference between Western and I guess Eastern playstyle, if you want to get into there. It appears that a lot of people just don't play alts or as many alts as they do in the other regions of the game. So they don't have as many stuff being fed to that main character to level up that main character. Now, is it that I think that you have to play an alt? If you're if you want to say in your manifesto here that your intent is to play as you wish and as you desire, and my wish and my desire is that I just don't have time to play the numerous alts that are required to feed a main, and that I enjoy playing a main more than I do a bunch of alts whose only purpose in existence is to feed a main, like some kind of fiefdom, little serf out there toiling in the mud to feed the lord and liege their main. I don't play that way. It's not my play style. My play style is I have a character, and as I have one character only, because I want to play the horizontal content. So, yeah, that's my playstyle. A shortage of T3 progression materials, coupled with problems introduced by bots, have made honing materials too expensive and a burden for players. And yes, it is. It's too expensive to buy, and not really making anything, selling anything. To combat this, we will supply more progression materials for players to earn through fun in-game events, injecting more gold mid to end game, and continuing our hard stance against bots. So these in-game events, and right now you have the what I call the Pokemon kart racing, right? Um, so that's the racing in-game that is going on through for this month through April, where you have the chance to get Arcesia coins. And then with those Arcesia coins, you can turn them in to get materials for honing and stuff. Um, though some of that stuff is high level locked. So, you know, they did unlock the engravings, because the engravings were eye level locked. Rares were eye level locked. The epics were eye level locked. They did unlock those for everybody. Because I'm only tier 1 and I was using rare engravings. Why do I have to be tier 2 to use rare engravings? Okay. That makes no sense. So why lock those behind eye level 802 to buy for rare engravings? Though I have a very hard time understanding engravings. It's still trying to. I did do some reading after yesterday's gameplay and stream, and I am still trying to wrap my head around engravings. Yeah, that's one thing I'm having a little bit of an issue, a little bit of complicated understanding is engravings, and the different types of engravings and how it affects the gameplay and all that stuff, and what engravings can be equipped, what engravings are not equipped, and engravings for your certain jewelry items like your necklaces, your rings. Yeah, it's and then you have two engravings that you can equip. Well, then what about the engravings for your necklaces and all that stuff? Are if you don't have those equipped, do they still count? I'm having a hard time. My feeble old mind is having a hard time grasping that concept. I get everything else. I get the crit. I get the spec. I get the dom, the expertise, the swiftness. I understand that part of how those different skills play within um, your equipment. But the engraving is throwing me for a loop. Bots. Bots have been a problem for us since launch, and that is so true. Even though we banned them as quickly as we could, they keep springing up. Thanks to the mass ban of bots around the timing of the Argos update and the removal of early game gold that attracted them in the first place, they've seen a steep decline in bot activity and bot farmed gold that was used to inflate the prices of honing materials. They continue to take a hard stance against the remaining bots to make them inefficient while ensuring active players can access gold to create a better experience for all. Bots are still a problem. Injection of honing materials. In next week's update, we'll provide additional Grand Prix honing rewards. There you go. There's that racing game, your Pokemon kart racing. Introduce a new casual event, Guardian Raid, to supply players with more honing materials and kick off the first season of competitive proving grounds. I do not PvP, and I do not hold it against anybody that does PvP. So good luck to them. But this is a new casual event, Guardian Raid, to supply our players with more honing materials. Awesome. Maybe this one won't have so many damn hit points like these other Guardian raids. I mean, it's monstrous. You don't know. Number one, you get in there, you don't see how many hit points these monsters have left. So you're pounding away, pounding away, pounding away, wondering, am I close? Am I close? Am I close? But we'll see how this new casual works out. Did they debuff some of those hit points off of there? So now, from what I understand, I think it's going to be like a once a week thing, kind of, or a once a day thing, like it is with the Grand Prix, where you can only do the Grand Prix once a day on a roster. Okay. So not just once a day on a character, it's once a day on a roster. So from what I understand, it's going to be the same thing with the casual event Guardian raids, which I guess makes sense because you don't want to give away the house, right? You just want to help out without giving away the house. Event Guardian raids. In this event, you can enjoy Guardian raids in a more casual way. Relax, play, get honing rewards. Similar to the Grand Prix, you can enter once per day per roster and earn specific coins to spend on rewards at a new vendor. This vendor can be found in major cities alongside the entrance to this new activity. Kind of like what it is with the Grand Prix now. You have that Grand Prix who gives a quest to enter to the Grand Prix, and then that quest giver is also the vendor for those Arcesia coins that you get. In this event, Scale of Balance is applied to change these character stats to match the Guardian's level. Scale of Balance is applied to change your stats to match the Guardian's level. And the difficulty is adjusted according to the number of participants in the raid. Players will be able to challenge Helgaia, Frost Helgaia, Lumerus, Urnil, Virtus, Chromanium, Nakrasina, Dark Legoros, Isologoros, Calventus, and Lavanos. Now, I'm probably saying every one of those names wrong, but, you know, I I am trying to do it correctly. If I did pronounce it wrong, I apologize. That's one thing I try to do is pronounce names correctly. This event will last for roughly a month, and players that high level 250 or above, so you don't even have to be tier 1. You can only just be 250. Will be able to participate. We'll reiterate the details in the event in the next week's update notes, but are excited to spoil the surprise as players look to earn more honing materials. Grand Prix adjustments. We're adding tailoring books and metallurgy books to the reward table for players to increase their honing rates. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That is going to be nice. Now, don't tier lock them. Don't tier lock them. Make them available. If I'm a tier 2 character, allow me to buy the tier 3 ones so I can save them for when I hit tier 3. Don't lock them to be only the current tier level that you are at. Allow us to prepare for future. We hope these new rewards will help players as they look to progress to tier 3 and beyond. PvP rewards. For players eagerly awaiting PvP action, Season 1 of Competitive Proving Grounds will release in next week's update. Players will be able to earn a variety of rewards, including access to honing materials. We'll have a dedicated article announcing more details next week. We will continue to review player feedback and data around honing materials, rates, and price within the game economy, but we're excited to provide more opportunities for players to gather materials starting this month. Conclusion. Complete with gifts. Freebies, 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 freebies. Who doesn't love a freebie? We know there's a lot to unpack above, and even with the context and information, you may have questions, concerns, and feedback. Our teams at Amazon Games and Smilegate will continue to listen to your feedback and work to communicate openly with you. We sincerely appreciate the enthusiasm and support we received in the first month since launch. Before we wrap up, if there's one thing the rapport system, I keep saying rapport, but it's rapport system has taught us, is that people love gifts. Absolutely 100% true. Freebie. Lost Ark fans around the world are celebrating all the new players now enjoying the game they love. Players in Korea received gifts to commemorate the Western launch of the game, and we wanted everyone to be included. Yes, everyone. We're so grateful for all of you who have joined us on the start of this adventure, and we're excited about the long future ahead. To help you on this journey with us, enjoy a gift full of fun cosmetics and useful materials. You'll receive this gift the week of March 21st after our weekly update and maintenance. Next week. Coincidentally, my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. Mine was 2 days ago. Late happy birthday to me. Though I was that day. I didn't celebrate my birthday due to illness. Okay, the gift is going to include new animal skin selection chests. Okay, so yours are your animal skins right here. You can look like this ridiculous thing, whatever it is. The Mokocon Pent Selection Chest. That's these little dabbers right here. Ooh, Santa Claus hats. Ooh, what color shall I pick? We got purple. I'm guessing that's in orange or burnt orange. Slimy limey. Green with a hat. Pink with the hat. Some kind of rainbow. Ooh, bluish, purplish type of deal. Not really quite blue, but dark. Ooh, I don't know what kind of blue that is. Purple. But ooh, Santa Claus, Santa Claus. We have the Moko board mount selection chest. Here we go, right here. These are your boards right here. Liking this one, this blue one right here. I'm liking that. We have a Lost Ark United structure. I'm guessing that's this thing for your stronghold. That looks kind of cool. I'm wondering if it spins. And this is the okay. It's not actually the the world as we know it. It is the apparently the Lost Ark world. I'm sitting there looking. Is that Italy? No, that's not Italy. And it is the world of Lost Ark. So I'm guessing this is like Lutera down here. You got Vern, South Vern, though it is actually west and not south. uh, and you have Rethramis, and then of course you're gonna have Punica and those Yorn and all that stuff over here, and Anika, and then Arthatine over here and up here, Shoeshire. So the appearance change ticket. So that'll be interesting. I don't. Okay. Oh, I'm guessing to change your character appearance, maybe go with a beard. I don't know. Fions, some people call it peons. Okay. Um, there is in Korean, there is no ph sound in Korean. The Korean language does not have a ph sound like we do here in the West. In the West, we say f is a f sound, right? Like phone or phonograph or photograph, photography. Ph has an f sound. So here in the Western world, we would say fions because it is a ph. But there is no F sound in Korean. So as I listen to Zeal's Ambition on Twitch and on YouTube, he pronounces it peons, which is more Korean, using just the P sound in Korean, whether it's peons or peons, depending on how this is written out in Korean. I should look that up to see how that is written in Korean so I can get the correct pronunciation. I was a Korean linguist in the Army, so I do like to be able to pronounce things correctly as how they were supposed to be pronounced. Menelik's Tome by 5. Legendary Card Pack Selection Chest by 2. Jukebox songs that will be provided when jukebox content is released in the future. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know if that is something that is particular to your stronghold. So your stronghold has a jukebox playing when you visit or when other people visit. That could be interesting. I don't know. We'll see. The jukebox to go along with your structure. But this is what it kind of looks like right here. Lots of different skin selection here. Can we make that bigger? So yes. You got some with hats. I do like these sailor hats with the sailor outfits. I think that looks. I think that actually looks pretty sharp. Trying to see what the difference is between these two here. Where I don't know if one is male, one is female. Though I don't see the difference. Like over here, they kind of look the same to me. But okay, I do like that sailor outfit though. That does look sharp. And again, I'm a fan of blue. It is my favorite color. So yeah, these cats looking type of deal. Looks like a cow over here. Is this a gator, I guess, or a dinosaur? Chicken. And mouse. So yeah, I am partial to this one right here. I do like that Christmas hat. So I'm hoping it is part of the selection because I will definitely get this one. And now that I see these up close here for the mounts, I am torn between this one and this one, the purplish looking one and the blue looking one. Though I do admit the brown here, or burnt sienna, does look kind of nice. You got a rainbow one here. I'm guessing it's they're probably going to call it a rainbow one, but it's more of a from a blue to a pink type of deal. Yeah, I think it's going to be the blue one here. With such an expansive and complex game, there will be nuances and differences between the players in each region, but this is just the start of the adventure. Our teams at Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG will continue to listen to players and analyze the data to find the right time for new end-game content as we try to catch the Western version up to the rest of the world. Thank you for joining us. Along with your continued enthusiasm and support, we will see you in Arcesia. So that was the update that was posted yesterday